The Pokemon TCG is known for having some incredible artwork throughout the generations, and so many great cards and great artists come together to bring this franchise to life. And that's what I think is really represented in the Pokemon trading card game is the amazing artwork and being able to take like these fantastical creatures and put them into different situations. In a situation that like the games themselves could not conjure up. Which is why I like want to go ahead and look through some of my favorite artworks from all time, really. I do have a few caveats here. One, my first rule is I'm only going to be showcasing one card per artist. I want to be looking at all the artists' artworks and point out a few others that I really like. But for making my top 15 list, I only wanted to choose one card. And then my secondary rules as I had to limit the amount of cards of water on them because I can't help myself. I love a good water aesthetic. But other than that, these are all going to be individual artworks. It's going to be showcasing art throughout the generations, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And so the first card I wanted to showcase was this Metagross right here. This is Metagross from Undaunted, drawn by Tokia, which I think is really, really nice. I think that this is such a cool way to be drawing like Metagross here, especially with like the ambient background. Like I don't really know where he's coming from, but he's like breathing destruction. And this like stance right here is so menacing because I don't know if I've ever seen Metagross like open his mouth up, but he's got fans going on right here. This is such a menacing look, and it's a style that I don't think I've ever seen like Metagross in to begin with. And I just think it's really powerful. I love the like sharp lines here, right here, especially on this jagged stuff, and how you have some fine details up in the front, but the more towards the background you go, the more it fades out, and it's just so cool. I think this is very fitting for the Heart Gold Soul Silver style era, because you'll have a lot of these artworks that are very hyper stylized. I feel like, and this blends in perfectly with them, but it does so in such an extreme way. And so I wanted to go through, a couple of the other artists here, or other arts here, and point out a few of my favorites. And I love this guy's style. He has such a way of, mixing stark shades, because you'll see like the color palettes transition in between arts, and they're so jagged. And it's also a little bit messy too, but I think it breathes a lot of life into it. Like right here around Onyx, you can see like it's almost just like splashed on, but it still works out super well. And he's done a few like really really cool arts. Another one that I like to highlight is this Arceus right here. This Arceus is just so cool, especially like this background right here, metal plate. What else we got? We got the sick Dialga promo as well. Very, very cool. I believe he also did. No, that must be another person I'm thinking of. But he's got some really phenomenal artworks here. I'm also a big fan of the Shaman right here, with the Mega Ray in the background. Just another one of those like really fine paint strokes here, really showcasing like the lighting differences and the stark contrast in the light spots and the dark parts. And so I think this is one of my favorite artists. And the Metagross is definitely like up there in terms of my favorites, but they still do have a lot of great art available to them. I also like this really somber Frostlass right here, deep into the cave, just hiding. We also got this really, really sick Electivire, which once again fits in with like the era of these Heart Gold Soul Silver cards with the very bright colors. And also, I believe the reason why I looked at this artist was because I was looking at this Gardevoir. This Gardevoir is a close second for one of my favorites. It's just got this really, really cool effect going on right here with the ball. It's just doing a lot of damage. So I had to go with Metagross for my 15th choice. And a really cool artist, too. They don't get to do a whole lot, but when they do, I feel like their style is really highlighted and super, super cool. Uh, After that, we got the Latios EX. Now, with a lot of these old era EXs, it's a little bit hard to appreciate them because a lot of them will use this like kind of outdated CG, and it could give like a really cool, like authentic effect to it. But sometimes they end up looking, a bit outdated as technology advances, CG gets better. But one, I'm a huge fan of the Delta Species cards, and I really like the fire in the background here and how it blends with the Latias's pose. I think this is one of the best times that Latias has ever looked. And I wish I had like a better picture to do. This is a less blurry one, but it's definitely not the best, as I could try to zoom in. But we still got some really, really nice details here. I also really like how the fire pattern is almost like a jet stream. And you even got like the deep highlight into the eyes, so I think this is some like amazing artwork we got here. Um, yeah, I really don't have too much else to say. I don't believe I've looked through this person's repertoire, but they did a lot of like the early, like almost CG looking artworks. This Black Kirim in particular is a favorite one of mine for when I played it, but also like I just think this posing's really sick, especially alongside the White Kirim that I'm sure we'll see. And they've done a lot of the iconic like level X's and early EX Pokemon that you're probably found like fond of. And so there's just a really big repertoire here of cool 3D artwork, as opposed to like I'm trying to think of the other one. Yeah, it's escaping my mind right now. But we also got these really cool Rayquazas. I think this is also one of the better like CG artworks because I love how it particularly pops out of the card, and they use the framing of the shadow right here, and cast a light down here, and so we get to see a whole lot going on here. So definitely some sick stuff. Unfortunately, like it seems like they're just not around anymore. Perhaps their CG skills are just a bit outdated. But I mean, I still really fuck with this art a lot. It's a shame that they aren't used anymore. You know, they had their time to spotlight with the level X's and the early EX cards, but it is what it is. So that is. I'm just gonna close these tabs once I'm done with them. But yeah, I love the Latias. Anyways, as you might have just caught a glimpse of, my next like favorite art, my number 13 right here, is the Jumpluff from it's either like Neo Revelations or Neo Destiny or something like that. I just think this artwork is so freaking adorable with the double Jumpluff here, and they're building the snowman. Oh my goodness, I'm moving cards. But yeah, this is just such a cute card, and I'm really not a fan of like super vintage cards. I feel like the art style it's nice, but it kind of feels like the old like Ken Sugimura style, and everyone's just trying to replicate that or be pretty close to that. But I really love the framing right here with these jump fluffs. And I'm sure these artists have, gotten a chance to shine throughout the ages. They also made the OG Aerodactyl is really nice. I love this Ampharos too. Like, I'm a big sucker for Delta species Pokemon, so to see that they made this Ampharos is really cool. This is an iconic card for me. I think I still own this card. Maybe it's a reverse holo or a regular holo in my collection. Oh, we found another Arceus. I swear we're gonna find all the Arceuses while going through this. Oh, there's the Azumarill on the boat too. I forgot about this art, but this art's also really cute. I think they kind of mastered like this really soft and rounded style for a lot of their cards. It doesn't work on some Pokemon. Like I think this Bayleaf here, it's got like this. I think it's got too much orange going on, but otherwise, like they have a pretty big set of artworks they go off of, and they've got a huge repertoire, like doing 12 years of cards. So I'm sure if we kept scrolling, we would see some modern cards. Like, yeah, we have the black and white Cinccino's right here. I'm trying to see if there's anything past X and Y. Oh yeah, the Dark Ampharos too. I love this Dark Ampharos. I have this in my own collection too. Just a very unique pose. I love how all this stuff comes off of it. But really, like, at the end of the day, when it comes to this art, or this artist in particular, I think this Jumpluff art is just king. It's just so adorable. Next up, I have the C-Train, and this card is wicked crazy. One of my friends recently opened this from the recent prize packs with the, like, new holofoil pattern on it. And it made me just, like, really appreciate how fucking killer this art is. It's kind of hard to tell, but you got like the lava waterfalls going on back here. You have just all this insane artwork, and I don't know how to like describe this style in particular with the and like it's just a very tiny minuscule line. So there's a lot of detail being put into it. You can basically like read every single part of it. So this looks like This looks like more of a leathery body down here, perhaps, but you can really see a lot of the shine on the metal parts, and then don't even get me started on the fire. Every single part of this card is just so aesthetically crazy. Like, if you put this on a full art, I'm sure people would just go mad over this artwork. But it's on a regular holo from Twilight Masquerade. And, honestly, I could say I think Twilight Masquerade is probably one of the best looking sets we have in Modern History. So many banner arts in that set. But I mean, regardless, right? Also, I love the framing here of like him just on the cliff and the upwards angle. So we get to see the lava water, like the lava falls back here, and we get a really big scope of the landscape here. While it still also remains a little bit ambiguous because we don't normally get to see like what's happening above the Pokemon, and so we got some stuff going on up here. That's kind of hard to read, but it's so good. It's crazy. I wish I had a picture of the holofoil play stamp on the show, but still. And then I want to go ahead and look at Akira Igawa's art because I was looking at it. I was like, oh, they're the person that did all the gold cards from Crown Zenith, and so I'm sure many of you guys who are in the collecting space have seen these cards, the Giratina, the Dialga, and the Palkia, but they've also done a few others. Like I actually really like both these Charizards. I think that the fact they mirror each other is really cool. I also love the Chiyu as well. And so there's just some crazy cool art going on with all this stuff here. We gotta give a shout out to Flareon, my favorite evolution, with this really nice cityscape background here, which is also another thing that I find very valuable in a card is the like landscape in the background because there's so many cool settings that you can put your stuff in, and I think that's one of the highlights that you get from the trading card game is that really, unless if you're tied down to a specific setting, so for example in Twilight Masquerade you're tied down to Kitakami, or you're tied down to like Paradox Rift, there's like a beach setting for that one, which I think can really like enhance the theme of the set. But you also get the chance to do like so many cool areas. So I think this Fire card's a really good example of that as well. Just a couple of other amazing arts here. And they also go really hard on these like fine detail strokes here, like in this gouging fire art. Like, dude, this artist is just so crazy with the stuff that they can do. They also did, this hoe that has really good art for just a basic V and this Hydreigon. So, just some really tight stuff here. The Mew was like a close second for me because I love the way this card is drawn. It's so whimsy with like all the buses and stuff going on. And this just looks like it's in like London, for example. It's just moving like the whole train around. It's just so neat. And they make really good use of all their colors here. But yeah, this is Heat Train. I guess I'll scroll through and check out the rest of their art. But there's the Dialga, there's the Palkia, you got the Tauros. I did not realize they did the big fucking Chunkachu. They also did this Umbreon VMAX, and I love this Umbreon VMAX when it came out, except for the giant feet. But it's got like this really just like dedicated like color spread here, like with these wavy patterns in the background for like a generic like art. It's so nice. So yeah, that is this Heat Train. And now we're gonna be looking at the Sylveon. This is actually the card that made me want to do this whole video in the first place. This is from the blister pack promos, or the sticker promos that you get from Prismatic Evolutions. And I saw this artwork with the holo on it. I was like, oh my goodness, it's so pretty. It's kind of hard to tell in here, but you'll like get a darker reflective background on everything surrounding the Sylveon, and it's just so phenomenal. And even like this artwork is so nice. I really love the like circle around here to frame Sylveon, and you also got like these water ripples going on down here. You just got a lot of pink flowery up here, so I think like the framing on this is perfect. I even like the this area back here, like being an escape route almost, or just like leading to like possibly more. And I just think that like it's such a strong color choice to mix in like the natural flowers and the watercolor to tie in with Sylveon's colors. So I think this is like perfect matching. And we just got this vibrant green grass that mixes in with this like blue water that kind of cohesively tie it all together. Yeah, so what I think is really strong about this is one, the holofoil pattern that you would have to see on the card. Thankfully, the card's probably not that expensive. And if you are opening prismatic stuff, you might even have this already if you picked up that blister collection. But I also love how they tie in the background aesthetics to the colors of the Pokemon. It's kind of what I liked about the Heatran before, is that they mixed in a lot of that like grays and a lot of those reds into the Heatran, so it blends into the environment, and it can create like it can create some association with that too. So I really love the Sylveon. And the cool, like, the almost cool part about this artist is they're pretty brand new. They have not done a lot of art so far, but they did this Deerling and the Sawsbuck that I remember people being really excited about when it came out. And these ones are cool because they showcase off the seasons, and it's a joint art too, technically. So this part over here links into this part over here. So that's really nice. Like I said, they haven't done a whole lot so far, but they seem to be a relatively newer artist, so I'm looking forward to seeing like what else they can do, and if they actually end up getting like another like full art in the future, because I'd love to see what they could do with their like flowery aesthetic here. They've really nailed it. Regardless. The Sylvia was the whole thing I wanted to do the video because I opened it, I was like, this is so cool. And I'm like, man, even like the common cards have really good artwork. But anyways, speaking of calling cards, we got this Zora right here from, I want to say Shiny Legends, and dude, this is just so freaking adorable being wrapped up in the Zoroark here. I also love the placement of the moon back here because it just like casts like this nice relaxing light onto the rest of the picture here. And also, like, I think this is just cute artwork. I really can't say that much else about it. And I'm not like super flowery when it comes to like Pokemon arts. I definitely lean way more into the cool aesthetic, or even like or even just like the landscapes in general. So I think the fact that this card does so much without having like a deep landscape or anything is really nice. And it's also kind of cool to see like how Zoroark's hair forms the majority of this frame right here, so you get to like try to follow it through, and you kind of get to see like a lot of Zoroark's anatomy that way as he just snuggles in. It just looks so adorable. I love the little like squiggly face line too on the smile right here. And so we're gonna go ahead and close that and go here. And I want to look at a bit more at Kodama's art because they have a lot of cute art here. Like I love this Arcanine too, where he's just like running around in the breeze. This was another close art for what I wanted to choose. But the other one that like made me look at this was this Chimpao, and this Chimpao art goes crazy with like the swirly wind right here. And it kind of leads back into what I was saying about the hair here, and like I like how it frames around Zora, and it gives you a lot to follow. And same thing here, because you'll start to see like the breeze like start like right here with the swirls, and then it like zooms out and encapsulates the whole thing. So I think it's just like really, really cool framing. And obviously Chimpao looks baller as fuck in this picture too. So I love that Chimpao art. It was a really close second. Other than that, they've done a couple other cards. Like, I also really like this Obstagoon right here. I think this looks better with the holo foil on it, which is just like a vertical line holo, but it really makes the Obstagoon stand out. And I just like how he stands up, and the setting he's in. It's a very, like, dark, decrepit, like, hideout layer. Really makes him seem like he's a goon taking over an old building. Also, like, shockingly, the Grimsley also looks really good too, with just this, like, very stark highlighting and all of this, and a good pose as well. A couple other good artworks here, like I have both of these. I have this one as well in Chinese. This is also just a great artwork in general. It seems like they really fuck with with Zoroark here. I did not realize I did not piece that together until just now. This Keldeo is also, like, crazy. Like, I just think they're really good at picking a detail and making it the focus of the artwork. Alongside their, like, art style, with just the shades and stuff like that, it's just so nice. It's very pleasant to look at. So I'm just gonna go ahead and scroll through a bit more of their art here. I also really love the tag team Mawile here. Mawile is one of my favorite Pokemon in general, and so we scroll by a lot of these Mawiles on a lot of these guys' pages. I keep on highlighting them all, but yeah. This is another artist, or another piece of art that I really wanted to highlight. I just like the scene a lot too, and it's a very menacing Salamence. It looks very clean for what it is, and I also just love the tiny, like, other aesthetics here. It almost looks like it's snowing or raining with these, like, droplets coming in, and he's perched up on this big rock right here. So this is definitely like a very cool card. This is actually the card I was like initially going to put in, but I was like, nah, I have to put the Zora in. It's so adorable. And yeah. Oh, and then there's the one where Zorak is playing with the Zorua right here. This is also cute artwork. I just chose to go for the other one. So yeah, that is Zora. Now we got Walkie Wake. It's funny. I posted about this deck recently, and the reason I was doing that is because I kept looking at this art. And this art is so phenomenal. I'm really a sucker of water in general. So we got the whole waterfall scene going down here, and it just branches down all the way down here, and then you also get like this insane flora. In fact, we're gonna close that one out. We're gonna go here because we actually have a full art of this card, which is really nice. And so you actually get to see a little bit more of the details in the foliage, and it all just looks so alien and mysterious, which I think is so perfect for Walkie Wake. This paradox mystery Pokemon, and it's just going through this treacherous jungle. And there's so many like details put into the background. Like this could have just been a solid waterfall and just been fine, but I like the rocks jutting out of it. I love all the vines, and there's just so many other small details here. Alongside the color association here, so we got like these pinkish flowers that kind of tie into like the purple and red spikes on Walkie Wake's mane, and we just have this beautiful blue aesthetic going on with the rest of it. It just really looks vibrant and mysterious. And like I said, I'm a really big sucker for environmentalism in my artwork, and so this is just an amazingly cool card. I need to get this card in person soon. And this artist is T0, and I think if you've been following along with modern stuff, you'll probably notice a trend here. Oh yeah, so we got the Dunsparce right here. And this card is really cool because it links in with a bunch of other cards. Like it links in with the Skullnet, it links in with, looking for another one. Where is it? Where are they? It links in with this Pisidian. And so there's a lot of cards this combo's into. And it actually links into this artwork right here. So this is a 9-piece artwork with all the cards linking together. Ignore this field, it's a little bit low quality. This is a picture that was made as soon as this field got revealed, I think. And it even is like its own sleeve too. So if you wanted to buy the sleeve with all this art on it, it's possible. It's out there. And so, yeah. Highlighting some of the other art on here, like this Celebi is also absolutely cool. We just got it blooming these trees up here. This is actually from the Chili Rain, so it's got that whole Crown Tundra setting. And I do not remember what like this throne area is where you capture Glastrier and Spectrier, but I think it's up there, which is where the big tree is. So it's really cool to see like Celebi incorporated into this environment. And also like Chili Rain is just one of my favorite sets, so I think it's cool to see it there. Despite this being a Fusion Strike card, it is a Chili Rain card. We also have this Comfy, and this Comfy was actually a close second for me. I just really love the details of like the mysterious energy flowing from it and the glowing flowers around it while Comfy just rests here. I think it really leads into the like Lost Zone type of spiritual effect going on here with like the mysterious glowing flowers and the particles coming up. It's just really softly painted, which I think is super cool. I got this Druddigon too. I love this Druddigon with the Ace Trainer. It's just so cute and adorable for a Pokemon that's normally pretty menacing. And Druddigon's also a Pokemon that I think gets a lot of cool art. Who else is here? We got the Gouging Fire. This guy's also a Chad. Super big boy right here. This one kind of leads to the same aesthetic as the Walkie Wake, but I think the Walkie Wake looks so much more alien, and so I give it a lot of points for being super unique. They did Hydrapple, the City Latias right here. Just a lot of cool cards. And for me personally, like, I haven't talked about it too much with a lot of the artworks we've gone through, but we're starting to get into some cards that have like a competitive history with me, and so I think it's very important that like I can have fun playing with the cards too. And so when my cards look beautiful and they're good, that's just a top tier combo. So yeah, T0's kind of the GOAT. Really great and amazing artist. All right. So yeah, now that we're done with Walkie Wake, let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is Lucario Melmetal GX. I love these guys. I love the way that they're painted. They also lean to that. It's not so much as like scratchy or splotchy, but I love how they use like sharp color changes. So it's not like a natural hue that naturally expands. It's hey, we got this color right here, and then we're gonna drastically shift, a couple layers down to the next one. I think it brings out these really sharp details, and it just allows these Pokemon that like pop, especially against the background, which is a little bit like the background has a lot of that like almost like sloppiness. Not sloppy is kind of a bad word, but like it's like faded, it's less detailed, and so it puts a lot of focus on the Pokemon up the front here, which I really really like. I wish I had a version of this without the art or without the text in front of it. And also, it's just cool because they're like treading, like Melmetal's like all stands up. He's trying to mimic the Lucario pose, which is such a unique thing for Melmetal to do. Honestly, I think I have to credit this card for actually getting me back into the game because this card just looked so cool to me, and I'm always a big fan of Melmetal. This guy just hits like a truck. He's just so cool. Um, but yeah, like I said, I really love the sharp jumps in the color to really make everything pop, and then the cool background between like the river training session and all of that. He's just super super tight. So let's go ahead and look at Nagamiso's other artworks. They've done a couple of other cool things. Like I really love this Armorage. This Armorage is just so cool. With like the whole setting of it. I'm trying to tell exactly where this is. This almost looks like Venice, but I guess it's like raining or something because of that. But they really nail the water down here. All of the droplets on the plant. And it kind of goes back into what I was saying earlier that like the Pokemon details really pop and then the background sort of fades in a little bit. But here, instead of just being like not the focus of the picture, they kind of lead into the empty space and allow you like look further. And it just looks like it goes so deep into this like amazing sky up here. So you really get to catch a lot of details on this artwork, which I think is super sick. I also like really appreciate the OG bosses orders. I'd be playing these if they didn't have the yellow border. But I once again really love the sharp coloration here, where we transition from the light shades to the dark shades really quickly and without using like a gradient. And I also love how the shadow casts back here as well. So it's just like super super cool art. Definitely like one of my favorites. They got a couple cool char cadets here. The gym trainer or the coach trainers also like follow that same philosophy as like the boss's orders, and you get to see the cool Zekrom and the Pikachu in the background. So yeah, even though they're just random trainers, it's still so cool. There's a couple other ones over here. I think their earlier artworks aren't as good as their later artworks, but it's fine. It's still got a lot of cool ones. Like I really dig this Apollyon too. Once again, we got the sharp color transitions right here. The spots really just highlighting some of the like important points on the card. So we got the big thigh right here that's cracking the ice, and then this like protecting it or guarding it from the shards. Just such a cool card. What else we got? Oh, they even did a Trash Edge too. I don't think this is the OG Trash Edge, but it is one of them. Who else we got? Oh, they did. I did not realize they did all three of the future Pokemon as well. Huh. That is really cool. We got the Iron Boulder do whatever. Sort of lead to the like forward aspect. I think the only issue with like these future Pokemon is they're so stiff. They don't have a lot of flexibility, and so it's kind of hard to imagine like Iron Boulder doing something cool. So instead, you get whatever the hell this is. But it's still like a cool setting. I'm not a big fan of the leaves, but I really love the almost like cherry blossom iron ground. I don't know if this is cherry blossom or just like another strange thing, but like the pose in here with the moon is also really good. I could definitely see why this was like the most expensive card when Temporal Forces came out. We got the good Luke medal up here, yeah. I also love this Nidoqueen too. Not my favorite Nidoqueen, but it's also up there. The Obsidian Flames Palafin. Yeah, there's just a lot of cool stuff up here. Just a big repertoire. Oh, they did these? I don't think I looked that far ahead and saw these. Yeah, these are some really, really crazy artworks as well. I did not realize Nagamisa did both, or did these. Crazy. Yeah, these are some crazy arts. I gotta say, I'm a big fan of Team Magnus Groudon a bit more though. We got the Courtney right here. We got the other fucking dude up here that we try to ignore. Oh my goodness, what is his name? It's like Maximus, or not Maximus, but No, it's like Tabitha, I think. Yeah, but I really fuck with the big Groudon instead, and the Zangoose. It's got all the OG Team Magma boys. A couple other artworks up here, just double checking. Oh, they did the full art TV reporter. Oh, that's cool. It's definitely not like I think like some of these older artworks suffer just a little bit more from not having that stark color concentration, but it's a little bit present here. It's definitely a lot softer in the details, but I think this also might just be because this is a very complicated art, so you don't have a lot of space to do that extra shading. But it's still kind of present here. It's still really cool though. Yeah, but yeah, this artist is definitely crazy, crazy stuff. All right, so after that we got oh the Zork, dude. This Zork is just fucking insane. I could not believe this card was like $20 for a while. Um, it's just like such a crazy, crazy artwork. I don't even know how to like describe this. It's just such a unique look and feel to it. I love like the psycho eye right here, like he looks like he's about to kill you, as well as like the wildness, which I think is really exaggerated, and like the proportions right here. So this looks very thin, and we got the crazy like headpiece over here that's just like fanning out all over the place. And I think leading to that like wild, crazy aesthetic, we got these dark waves going on the side, which really like lead into the psychopath here. Yeah, it's just such a great art, and I love how it looks like an old style, like it almost looks like it's written on a scroll, which I think really leads into like the aesthetic a lot because this is an extinct like Pokemon. So I think the fact that it leads into that like old scroll type of vibe here with the faded out colors and the like not it's like very dull shades. So they really nailed the aesthetic here. Actually, I'm curious because I do not remember what other arts this person does, but I did see a few cute ones. Oh, right, they did the Greninja too. I love this Greninja. This Greninja is so cool. With them like throwing the shurikens out, which you don't get to see a whole lot. I love the shurikens whenever they get drawn, and so we just got a really sharp line right here with the waves. It's like cutting the grass. Definitely like a very very talented artist. They have, and the crazy part is they haven't even done a lot. And from looking at every single one of these cards, they're only Scarlet and Violet onwards. So I'm really looking forward to like how they use their talent in the future. I know this Ninetales is also pretty popular too. I think it's an Obsidian Flames card. And it's just got this really like nice glow back here into the deep woods. It almost looks like things are on fire, but it's not quite on fire. It just has that glow to it, which I think is really really nice. But the Zork is definitely the craziest card. This is the only card that is a Sword of Shield card, right? Nothing you get about it. So they really got started at Crown Zenith with a banner and then just didn't stop. I also love this Arcanine. Once again, it really leads into that old Japanese style super well with the like sharp it almost looks like pen or quill lines, right? A sharp bolded outline right here. Yeah, this is another great art. So, oh, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like the pen lines that you'd see from like a pen and quill or a feather and quill. Ink, all that stuff. Ink is the word I'm looking for. There we go. So yeah, this is just crazy cool art. I'm glad to have this card in person. Next up, we got a tag team card. I'm surprised, or yeah, we got another tag team card, I should say. I just love and fucking dig like this cool setting right here. So I'm not even entirely sure where they are. They might be like the Cave of Origin or something like that. But seeing Giratina like pull away the space into their dimension is so nice, and they get to see the lighting casting the card across the guard shop right here. So he's really just stunned. It's just like super super neat. Also, just love the way that they like stare down right here. I really don't have too much else to like specifically say here, but I think like this right here is such a unique way of demonstrating Giratina's powers. And Giratina is honestly like one of the cards, or one of the Pokemon that gets the coolest cards because it's just like this fucking eldritch dimension traveling being, and so you get to see a lot of interpretations of what they think the Lost Zone is and all of that other stuff. I need to fix this. Yeah. So you get to see all the interpretations of like what they think the Lost Zone is or how they travel around. I think this is definitely one of the most unique. On top of it just having like two like broken ass Pokemon in it with the Giratina right here and the Garchomp. So this is a phenomenal artwork. And a psyche dynamic. Unfortunately, though, I actually don't think too highly on the most of their art. Like the rest of it is okay. They have a couple like neat ones, but they're definitely not my favorite artists. But this one definitely made like so extremely hard. I mean, hard enough to make it to number 6 on my list. Um, Everything else is like kind of tame, kind of fine. I like this Kilowattrel a lot. I think this Kilowattrel is a really good setting, and it's just like a very, a very unique pose, and it makes the Pokemon actually look threatening for once. But other than that, like I don't have too much else to say about this artist in particular. They've done some okay stuff. I think this Rayquaza is also really cool. With the smug-looking Rayquaza travel around this like ancient mountain setting, which I think is really nice. But outside of like the Tina Chomp and the Rayquaza and then the other card we just looked at, I'm not a huge fan of most of their art. It's still good, but it's not like super impressive. But yeah, this Garchomp Giratina is definitely like a crazy card. All right, now we are into the top 5. So these are going to be some insane artworks up here, and I might as well say like one of the artists in the top 5 could literally been like the whole top 10 list. But we'll get to that when we get to that. But first, we have this Omastar. And dude, I like dig this Omastar so much. I love how the setting and the background looks like a like future like setting overgrown into a lost jungle, which fits with the whole like ancient vibe here, where it looks like it's almost an ancient civilization, but this is all stuff from the future. It's just that the jungle is overgrown and all this stuff, which really turns it all on its head, and you just got like these guys who are just taking it over and retaking the land. It's also like casted mostly in the dark and the shadows, which makes it really feel like forbidden, like lost place, lost the time. And so I love having this this contrast in the light up here, just be like a little like tiny glimmer of hope for people ever seeing this. This could also be like an ancient lab, or not an ancient lab, but like a lab where they revive fossils and try to put them into a natural setting that could have been overrun. Like, part of me almost thinks like, if you've ever played Dead Island, towards the end of the game, there is a lab in the middle of the jungle that you go to that gets overrun with like zombies and stuff like that. But it looks like a huge mess, and it kind of reminds me of this. Um, so I think like the setting, like asking you a lot of questions and being a really fun premise for a card is so unique. It just gives you like enough details to like latch on and theory craft of like what could be going on. I think that makes it really like I think this could make this card really strong. And that like if you're wondering like what is happening on the outside of this card, because recently I've also been looking to like display cases for some of the cool artworks, and so I think it's really cool to like have this extended art and showcase more of what's happening around it. And I think this almost does that like perfectly and making you want to imagine like, oh, what else could be happening outside of this artwork. And so it's just like really phenomenal work. I've had this almost star in the back of my head for a really, really long time. So yeah, just an amazing piece of art here. Let's see, Fates Collide. Or not Fates Collide, we want to look at Hosono. I believe Hosono has done a few other pieces of great art. Like, I love this Aggron. He's very, very intimidating. And there's just so much, like, power and explosion lightning going on in the background. Alongside some, like, undervaluable color choices, or at least color choices that I don't see get used too often. Between the gray, the yellow, and the green is such a weird choice of colors, but they really fucking rock it there. This card also goes crazy. This setting is also insane with the fucking SP or with the Deoxys coming out of the goddamn meteor and the SPL just all looking it. That is definitely like a top tier crazy art. Let's look at this raw as fuck golem right here. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but I'm starting to realize that this person's like whole strength is imagining like whatever type of other shit may be going on in the background, or at least for like the other cards that that I've chosen to point out. I love this Melmetal. I think this Melmetal's sick, and I'm just a big Melmetal guy. It does look better with the hollow, where we get to see like the background like highlighted with it, but it's still super swag. This Nidoran is also sick. I have no clue where the fuck he is. I want to say this might be like Black City. Say this is a black and white card. This is Steam Siege. Oh. Oh, that's cool. So they're really playing to the, whatever Steam Siege is about with the cyberpunk, like, future city aesthetic here. And so this Nidoran, like, being able to point it out is super cool. Really, really great use of the mysterious setting, which is, the thing that complemented the Alma Star on. Where does this run? Fates Collide? Interesting. I have no clue what that set is about. Oh, they did the Delta Mimikyu? Oh, that's so rad. Oh, man, it's funny because I looked through some of these pages before I did this to try and think of like talking points that I wanted to do, and then I was like, oh shit, they did this art. Also, I gotta fucking hand it to them for giving us a river room that like is punching a fucking wall down. I didn't know they could make river room look cool or make river room like literally throw fucking hands, but this artist did it. It's cool. I always wanted to put this card in, but I had the one artist rule, so I just put the Almost art. Oh, I also really dig this Sneasel. He's just so fucking wicked, bro. He's definitely menacing. And also this whole, like, curvy branch here into the lighting over here. Just a really, really well-planted jungle setting right here. Anything else that we got that's super, super exciting? Oh, this art. This art goes crazy. I need to get this art in person. Because I love both of these legendaries. But this is really cool. I love in particular, the fucking glowy, menacing Yveltal over here. And the Xerneas just be like, hey bro, you need to chill the fuck out. So this is also another really cool card. But yeah, another amazing piece of art that we have here with the Omastar. Then, on to our fourth one, we got this Umbreon. Now, this is the artist I was talking about that went fucking crazy. I had like 50 different artworks in mind before I chose one, and I chose this one because it is very unique compared to the rest of their art. And that, like, the frame being on this card is very special. Because normally, like, the Pokemon will just take up most of the screen. But I love, like, this empty space right here that's painting out. So you have this small, like, lighted area with the Umbreon here glowing, and it just fades into this obscure darkness over here. And it's just, like, these colors just stand out so much to me. Alongside this, like, this choice to have the scratchy lines right here. So it's like, it is trying to fade in, but everything's so jagged and very sharp, and I think that's like, oh, I just spoiled another card. Oops. But yeah, this card is just so crazy cool. And I'm not much of an Umbreon guy. Like, Flareon's Flareon's the only one that I'm like gonna go super crazy for. But I just could not underestimate like how cool this artwork was, and just like even the plantation and all that stuff is very unique and very thorough. Definitely gives it like a scary nighttime horror vibes. It fits in with the dark type aesthetic, especially with like how little they do with this lighted area over here. Just drawing a few plants over here and casting a great light around it. So this is just a phenomenal framing, and I have to say, Kawaii goes fucking crazy. Because this was the initial art I wanted to pitch, and this art also goes crazy. I love the Aerodactyl just perched up here, so like sitting down and on looking through the city, and so you get to see a lot of cool parts. Like you get to see this bridge, this tower that's staying over here, and the Aerodactyl himself also looks hella crazy. Alongside the like gradient change, so you get like the blue shifting to like the orange shifting into like a lighter color down here, which I think is a really neat way to like transition your colors. Naturally, and then you have Aerodactyl like juxtaposing it all, sitting on top of like this statue right here. Like this is such a cool card, and it was like my second choice. But also like look at all the other art they did. As a cool fact, they did all of Cynthia's Pokemon except for the two level X cards, being the Garchomp and the Rayquaza. But they did all the other artwork, which was really cool to have like a consistent theming with all the Pokemon here. They did this Arceus, and I know people love this Arceus, where it's like overcasting the Sinnoh region, and so you got like the different cities over here. You got Mount Coronet, all the space surrounding it. The dark type Arceus also goes raw as fuck with the big moon in that like the big eclipse moon in the background, the evil like the evil like red shade emanating from the plate. Like I could sit here and talk about that art all day. I'm also a big fan of this black here in particular, because I know it's very hard to make like EX or V cards look good. But yeah, there's also this black here, and oh my goodness, I'm literally gonna be here the entire time. This Blastoise also goes hard as fuck. It's something about like the color choices here, and I don't know how to specifically describe it, but they go for like a very like painty feel. So these are definitely like these feel like somewhat natural colors that you have to make, and so you get a lot of this like raw raw energy coming from it because it feels like the colors feel both so natural and also so emanating at the same time. I wish I had a better way of describing it. Who else goes crazy here? Crazy Charmeleon art going on right here. I think this is from Darkness something, Burning Shadows. So this is like a Po Town with the graffiti in the background, the stored car. So he goes crazy. I'm also a big fan of this Cofagrigus, which is another card I was like really close to highlighting too, because I love the style on it. And even though you don't get to see a lot, it's like cool to see like Cofagrigus chasing you on all fours. Because it's actually like its hand is right here and it's reaching out for you, and it's got like two hind legs over here. So it's really cool to imagine like how this Pokemon moves around without just floating around. Who else have they done? This Cradily goes crazy. Oh, the Heart Gold Soul Silver cards go crazy because this is definitely fits into like the Heart Gold Soul Silver era. We got this Kubo. I just think it's really cool. It's definitely like with the menacing Kubos you got out there. This Darkrai promo, which is definitely like right up their alley in terms of like the style they can nail. And even though this card's like pretty simple, it's still like mad crazy. Uh, Particularly like with how they just like detail everything here. Like especially look at this. Like how do you even paint these details on? That takes some insane like color blending to get that to work. On top of the moon being posed like right behind the hand right here, which is the big focus. And it allows you to like, oh, this is really cool up here. My eyes are being drawn up here for attention. And you just like glance down, it's like, oh shit, like what is going on over here on the dark side? Like this looks way more twisted and benevolent than it does up here. We got this Decidueye. I think this is probably my favorite Decidueye artwork actually. I just love the surrounding like foliage going on right here as he's prepping the arrow. It's just such a natural space. It does look a little bit tight and cramped, but it is a single Pokemon card. But also like I feel like this one of their strengths is the amount of details that could put in to a very small setting, which is one of the things that I was highlighting this Umbreon card because they really get a lot of value out of like this tiny space right here. Like if you think about holding a Pokemon card and looking at that very specific area and how much they managed to get into this like tiny spot right here, it goes nuts. It goes absolutely crazy. So yeah. Cosmic Eclipse Decidueye. Like, we're not even done with the first page, so I'm gonna have to speed it up. But there's so many cool arts. They did the Empoleon. I think that one links with the Fione too. I love the Heart Gold Soul Silver for Alligator. And then they also did my Goat Flareon right here. Let's see. More of the Cynthia's Pokemon. Golurk goes also ham right here. Yeah, holy shit, man. This artist could have literally just been the entire thing. I love this Kingdra art too. I actually like this more than the Trainer Gallery one that has Claire on it. I just think this art goes incredibly hard. And Kingdra has a lot of hard cards already, so that's so minor compliment. It's infamously cool Lugia. Like, if I went, like, I didn't highlight the Lugia, even though I think this Lugia is so sick. But man, they just have so much from that. Cargo's the Gyarados, the Ultra Wormhole Manaphy right here. Just so many sick and twisted designs here. And they really managed to nail their like aesthetic super hard. Pikachu Zekrom is just another goat. I've like thought about it a lot more, and I've actually gone out of my way to collect a lot of this artist cards before I even knew like, or before I even realized that the artist specifically did all these arts. Oh, this Umbreon is also so sick too. Mostly because like they really nail that art style again, and I also love the color choice with the background here being highlighted against the reds of the Umbreon right here. There's that one Unreal I pointed out. So really, like, I could have highlighted so many cards from this person. Their art is just so fucking insane, bro. Yeah. So we don't stay here all day. I will be moving on, but Kawaii is like definitely a top artist up there. But we're on to my top three. And like I said, most of these arts that Kawaii did could have very easily been my top like 10. But I'm like 100% sure on my top three. And so we're gonna go to the next card, which is the Delta Gyarados. It's been a while since we hit a vintage card on the list, since a lot of this art has been mostly modern, but I could not leave this Gyarados out. I think Gyarados is one of the most well-drawn cards, especially for an old card, because you won't see this like type of like rare aesthetic style found in a lot of the older cards. Like I talked about, they mostly play a lot safer, a lot more on model with the characters, except for like Kamiya, who was always a bit strange. But I really love the like neon lighting colors here. I think this fits really well with the lightning type aesthetic or the lightning type delta species that they chose for it. So I think going with the neon colors like really highlights it here. And so we got, you know, these really trippy waves here, probably colored by the sunset, but with the dark patterns right here. And he looks so evil and sinister, which might be trying to play into the metal aesthetic. Like this could have been a lightning dark type for all I care, but yeah, I just think this card is insanely cool. I wish I had another. I wish I had like a better scan of this, but unfortunately, for a lot of the Gen 3 cards, they have a really hard time finding like high quality scans of them. But yeah, the like really, really vibrant color choice is so rare on these older cards because they just didn't have that type of aesthetic style like built up yet. And so I really respect this card for that. And obviously, it being a Delta species also means a lot for playing into the Delta species aesthetic. So yeah, we got this Gyarados here. Now I will say, one thing that actually saddened me about looking at this artist is it seems like they haven't done anything since like Furious Fist, which is like an early X and Y set. But they were kind of one of the goats for early arts. Like I love this Bagon too. This Bagon just has some insane colors going on in the background, really highlighting, juxtaposing against the actual Bagon, and it kind of leads into like Salamence a little by having the red background right here, which I think is super neat. Also, like you'll never see a Bastiodon go more crazy than you do in this artwork right here. They did the Delta Species Beldum. I love this like hive of Beedrill. I've seen this card in person before, but yeah, there's a couple of Beedrills in the background. They're getting ready to attack. Really, like when I think of like an old artist, I think Kusujima is like one of the like OG adopters of like having a really really cool aesthetic style. I also think they use hollows extremely well. So I really love this hollow in particular, where we got a lot of like the patterns around the clocks. Like this is the time traveling Pokemon, and so you gotta put some real aesthetic onto it, and having the hollow accentuate like the clocks in the background is crazy. It definitely doesn't look as good here. Like this is fine. This is still good art, but I think having the deeper aesthetic back there really helps a lot. And so there's still a lot of other cool arts to go through. Like I said, it's just crazy how much this person did. Also, this Gallade is one of their more modern cards, and I think you can tell because they definitely use like a lot more of their sharper colors. But like this is also really cool for a Gallade art. It kind of reminds me of the Telepath Scarvor, which almost made the list as well. But this Gallade is also just so neat. He does look a bit too pissed for being in such a comfy spot though. Who else we got? Galvantula's cool. This Gengar is infamous too. This Gengar, I think, won a world championship or got really close to it. And so I like it just like running across this water right here. You got the highlight of the moon in the background. Like this is some very, very talented art we got going on right here. In fact, I might have to see this card in person again. Now that I'm looking at this art, it's like, dude, what the fuck? And it almost looks like he's like traveling like through a space, but the deeper you look, you're like, oh, this is actually just a real life place. And you know, there's water, there's the reflection of the moon down there, which I think is really cool. I think it's cool that you can imagine the card in two different settings, where your initial glance is like, whoa, he's like traveling through this dark like dimension shit, and the other is like, oh no, this is just a regular setting. But the fact that he is able to do all that with just all these natural elements is crazy. What an insane card. And also, I love this Gyarados, an XY promo. just kind of referencing the other one right here. You can really tell when they're side by side, but it's even got like almost the same posing and everything. So I think it's really neat that they decided to reference this with a shiny Gyarados. Who else we got here? Oh, this Ho. I thought it was a Lugia card when I saw this before, but this Ho is like also crazy. And unfortunately, this is a crystal card, so this is probably worth like 10 million kajillion dollars. But dude, this art's really good too. I love how it plays into like the the mural type of vibe here. A very sharp outline, but it's super complicated well at the same time. The Houndoom on the fucking tree stump right here, also super menacing. You gotta love it. And this guy has some crazy fucking cards. It's a shame that they don't hire him to make more cards nowadays. I also like distinctly remember this Magnemite when I was a kid because like this, I can't tell what it is happening back here, but this is such a cool setting. It's also just got this really nice like I like the purple hue around it, kind of mixing in the blue and the red, as well as like the technological stuff going in the background too. It definitely uses a lot of colors, but it doesn't feel like overwhelming. Yeah, man. Oh, the shiny Milotic too. Oh man, the Delta Ninetales too. I love this art. This art is also crazy cool. More Rama Stars, big fan of that guy. Yeah, I mean, this guy does some crazy art. I wish he made more art. Oh, I love this Tentacruel, by the way. I saw this Tentacruel for the first time, like maybe last year, and this is definitely menacing, very cool. I love how it blends into the background. It's a little bit better on this art because it's clouded up by the very intense hollow back there. But I like being able to see like this little section right here as well. Because it's like, oh, is there like underwater civilization? This might be Aquapolis. Yeah, Aquapolis. So I don't know the whole like theming of that set, but this could be the name of the set right here down here. And then you also got the sun shining in from down below there. There's that cool Thunderous I was talking about. I think that was from Furious Fist. That is like the fighting tournament one. And then we got the black and white Azuelis. Just feel like kind of late to this guy. So yeah, I mean, very, very cool stuff. The Gyarados is definitely like the top of it though. And this is peak. And the fact that they made a promo off of this card is so crazy to me. I did not realize that until today. But yeah, that is my third favorite card. Now moving on to my second, we got this Greninja for Twilight Masquerade. I said earlier in the video that like Twilight might be one of the greatest sets for art that we've had in the modern age, and like this is just the peak of it. Like look at how crazy everything is here. I love the like actual like paint aesthetic here going on, and not like paint as in like drawing, but like the paint on the card. And then we got these shurikens right here that kind of blend into the paints as well. I also like dig the Terra here. So we covered the Terra hat, which is nice, but we still get the headband here that really leads into the aesthetic. The red sharp paint to complement like the fighting Terra type, and then just the crystal design on the Pokemon because it is a Terra. Like this is like insane. This artwork is crazy, and I knew as soon as Twilight Masquerade came out, like this is one of those cards that I was going to get no matter what. And I'm glad I did before it went to a $300 card. But I mean, I think this card really deserves its status. And even, like, to a degree, it almost deserves its price. Because out of all the artworks in the Scarlet and Violet era, like, this is by and far the coolest, I think. This is one of those cards I'm, like, looking to see if I could get an extended version of it. Because, like, this whole style is so fucking unique and crazy. And it's just it's like so sporadic too. But even then, there's the solid Greninja right here with the deep blue that stands out from everything. Like it stands out from the shurikens, it stands out from the paint. It's a very easy to focus on this, and then all the details around it just like exploding around it too. It's just so cool. I really cannot emphasize like how awesome I think this card is. And so, now is the time to look at the rest of the Koggi's art, and they've done some other banners too. Like, seeing the Ledge as the scan is so nice, because you really get to see, like, the dark circle right here. You have to see the other stuff going on. Like, I fuck hard with the Ledge. The background here also goes crazy. like give this like I'm sad that we're not getting more Terra Pokemon because honestly, like a lot of the Terra Pokemon have had crazy fucking designs. Here's the Kingdra as well. Like it shocked me that they also did the Kingdra as well because this feels like such a stark contrast to like this, right? But I think that just goes to show like the Terra is better. So I like how this one leads into the waterfall Japanese aesthetic, which fits a lot with Kitakami. And this promo is just so fucking dope. They also have not done a lot of cards. I think all these cards are like temporal forces onwards, which really like shows me it's like, damn, we just got this artist, and they're already going this crazy. Like, I love this Palafin too, with the fucking citizens in the background just swimming away and all this. I can't tell if like these are shinies or not, but it's still cool. He's just fucking staring you down. Yeah, this is such a cool card. Same thing with the Skeletors too. Like, I love how the Skeletors looks. You got the little bird on top dancing. You got the echoes right here. You know, and it looks like he's in a cave. Yeah. But I'm really excited to see where this artist goes because he drew, like, by and far the craziest card of the Scarlet and Violet era. I said, there's one single card that is at the top of my list, and he's been on the top of my list ever since he came out. It is one of the reasons why I collected so hard. It's also one of the reasons why Chili Brain is one of my favorite sets. And so that honor has to go to Galarian Moltres. I'm not exactly sure if I can explain what I like so much about this card, but it's just so unique in how it's designed. Like, I love how, like, jet dark black the Moltres is, on top of, like, the pink flames, and just the style behind it, and the framing behind everything. I know we've shown off a lot of like more unique card or a lot of more like straightforward cards. So like this is definitely like the Pokemon. All the proportions have been pretty tight, but I love this like I don't even know how to describe it. It's very stylized. It's very personal. It doesn't feel like hey this is a Pokemon and a cool set here. This is a Pokemon and a cool art. This is definitely like its own model, and they really fucking rock it. I also love, like, whatever the hell is going on down here with the trees. You get the evil eyes poking out. You got these weird, strange designs on the trees. Like, everything about this just, like, jives with me. I want to say this card is perfectly symmetrical, too, which I think adds on to the stack a little bit more. I even love, like, the haziness on the clouds, too. The haziness on this outline pattern right here, I think just adds a little bit more to it. Because then you bring it back to the Moltres, and the Moltres is just so clear. And then you got the like, it almost looks like staticky everywhere else. And so I think it brings a lot of focus onto the Moltres' body. And then the shape of the flames, oh my goodness, it's just so cool. Like I said, this is by far just my favorite card of all the Pokemon. It's so good that I even have two of this card. I have one in my binder, and I have one in an extended art case. And... you know, I really cannot overstate how cool this card was. And I also have a little bit of a story of this card. I actually pulled almost every other Altar V from the set. So I pulled the Rapidash, the Zeraora, Articuno, Zapdos, both the Calyrexes, and did not hit the Moltres, unfortunately. I had to buy the Moltres on my own, but I'm glad I did, because holy shit, this card is just so cool. And we even have the Texas version of it to just, like, really, really rub it in. So yeah. And then, you know, lastly, we're going to look at this artist cards. Honestly, they definitely do a lot more of the cuter stuff. It surprised me when I was looking at this page. I was like, oh my goodness, this person did the fucking Moltres? Because everything else is so light and bubbly, which is fine. It's very cute. And they also master, like, the white outlines on a lot of these cards, which I think, like, is kind of done here. Yeah, it is done here, actually, now that I look at it. It's done on the claw, and it's done on, like, the body down here. But over here, they just lean into letting the moon take it over. Interesting. Yeah, it was funny because I clicked on the ducklet over here. It's like, that's a really cute ducklet. And then I went to the page and was like, what the fuck? They did the Moltres? This ducklet's also adorable, by the way. I love the little pond. I love its dumb, stupid face. The white outline does a lot for me, I think. Because it's kind of nice that, like, everything else also has the white outline, too. So it doesn't, like, it, like, tries to blend into the background with the natural aesthetic of it. But it's still, like, you know, distinct enough. It's kind of why I like this one too. I also did this one. I love Samura a lot, and the realize that they did this art is really funny, but it also makes a lot of sense now that I look at it. Yeah, this art is definitely also like fucking crazy. He's about to murk the shit out of the fucking snow run. Yeah, this is a good looking card. I don't think this artist has done a whole lot of other stuff because they only have 2 pages. I also like love this Loppity Jigglypuff. It's very amusing. It's very cute too. I love the Loppity snuggling up against Jigglypuff, and Jigglypuff is just like fucking like do it, bro. Fall asleep on me. That's my purpose. The cute Looper. Yeah, they definitely do a lot more of the cute stuff than they do the scary stuff. Even the scary stuff is more like this. And a very quiefied Spiritomb. I also love this Tatsugiri. I think this aesthetic with the waterfalls and stuff like that is so nice. All the time the lily pads and everything. Like this is a very stylized card. This Veluza also goes crazy. So yeah, I mean, you look at all the cute stuff on their page, and then you look at fucking the Galarian Moltres over here. But yeah, those were all 15 of my top 15 arts. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to like, comment down below, and subscribe. And while you tell me what your favorite artworks are, I wonder if there's anything like super particular I missed. Or if I introduced you to a new artist or a new piece of art that you really enjoyed, also like go ahead and let me know like what you thought about it or what I introduced you to. There's a lot of good Pokemon art out there. And sometimes, like, as we've seen, like, not all of it is all these fancy, big Altar EXs. Like, Moonbreon's cool and all, but, I'll take my fucking Jumpluff any day of the week. Anyways, that is all, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys around. Peace.